Yeah, it looks cool, it's fun, but no damage. More, even more, and then you can high jump, but here we are. Pearl and Mesher's Kingdom. We are standing here in the middle of nowhere, in Crimson Desert. Because I just finished the game, and I got something to tell you. Even though I enjoyed the game, there is 5 insanely big problems that no one talks about, and I want to explain and discuss them with you today. There will be no story spoilers, but the last big problem is about progression in the last acts. So if you're having problems with progression in Strange Manor, Fortress Keys or other quests, I will show you solutions for the worst quests ever existed in RPG games. But straight out of the gate, let's not forget, it's not RPG game, and I completely realize it. It's open world sandbox adventure game, and this game kinda nails it. Scale of the world is massive, and while it's marketed as insanely cool future that this game got insanely big world, well, this world is kinda empty. Yeah, standing on a big tower, we can easily see lots of points of interest where we can go and investigate, but in reality all of them are kinda useless. And that's the first thing I want to talk about: weapons and gear in general, since it's insanely big problem in my opinion. First of all, technically all gear are the same. Recently I found this Frozen Heart plate cloak, and it got some stats, but overall every cloak will have same stats. When it's fully upgraded, it will give you around 10 defense, and it will have one extra stat like fire resistance, maybe ice resistance, and yeah, it will help you in different regions. For example, right now we are in fire region, so it's nice to have some fire resistance over here to keep our stamina, but I actually beat it whole game in one single set. Yeah, I fully upgraded this early set, Bolton plate armor, I bought this helmet. There's a reason for it. Whatever gear you will find, there's mostly like no wow factor. Yeah, you will see loads of YouTube videos like this is best armor set, this is best weapon, this weapon is insane, but all weapons, all armors are basically the same in the game. All armors will have around like 30 defense at maximum upgrade, and that's it. Same goes for weapons. I got fully upgraded spears that I got almost in the beginning of the game, and weapons will be different in terms of attack, critical rate and attack speed. For example, with maximum upgrade I got 35 attack and 3 attack speed. Other weapons may have less attack but also will have critical rate, or same attack but they will have critical rate and no attack speed, and so on and so on. So difference will be in about like 10% of attack damage, and that's it. It's not game changing, and there is no really like benefit of fun to it. And in a big world where all gear are basically the same but with different skins, well, what's the reason to actually investigate and explore? Yeah, map is massive, and if I just turn around I will see big mountain and I can go over there, but what I will find? I will waste like few hours just to find different skin for my boots, and I will need to waste time to refine it, so it will have more defense and attack. Yeah, it is what it is. And that's, in my opinion, is insanely big problem, because for example right now we are in fire biome, in desert, and just imagine how cool it would be if we can, for example, explore this desert region and get some fire weapons that actually have some firepower. And then we can go into ice region, where we will have different enemies. Maybe in this region we will have enemies that are fast and got high damage numbers, and in ice region, for example, we can have some like big ice yetis that are slow, not very powerful, but very tanky, something like this. And if you go instantly into ice region, you will be kind of fighting bullet sponges, but if you got weapons from fire region, you will be a lot more powerful there. Same goes for like ice region, just put some good armors over there, so we will have better time in fire region later, and so on and so on. But this game just fails it. Every region got kinda same enemies, yeah, they will have different skins, but overall it's just the same stuff everywhere. And that's why we can play whole game in a single gear set, never change it, and we will feel okay. So now you need to take a look at the graph. Here we get interest and here we get time. And normally games should have something like this. We start somewhere in the middle, then game hook us, and it slowly builds up for some big climax. You know, interesting plot twist or something like this, where traitors or big danger upon us. And then game kinda slows down a little bit. We gather up our party for a final fight, and then it's just boom, the end, final. But here in Crimson Desert we got something like this. It slowly builds up, there's like almost no hook. You start to explore, and then around like 10 hour in, you start to realize there's something to do, you get some exploration, and then you realize there's no upgrades in the game, and it slowly dies out until the final part of the game. And in final part of the main story it goes like this, just boom. Yeah, it's crazy how bad it is. And all the problems we will discuss today actually ties to it. But there's one more problem, and this problem is actually pretty annoying, especially at the last part of the game. That's why I really recommend you to check out the last part of this video. That explains why this game is so bad, especially the last parts of the main story. But here, in this, and one of these big reasons is actually buttons. Yeah, there's so many buttons, controls are just so bad in my opinion, and there's so much you can do, and it may feel like a good idea to have a lot of stuff to do, but lots of this stuff is actually used just once in the whole game. For example, I got this like laser cannon ice, and honestly dealing like almost no damage. Yeah, it looks cool, it's fun, but who cares if I blast like 30 bullets into this guy and he's still alive. He's still alive. Oh my goodness. And I got this super ability on the end of the game, almost on the end of the game. Also, there's some like fun abilities. For example, you can catch tree, you can pull it, and then you can pull it even more, and then you can high jump. But here we are. The stamina will drain out in a matter of few seconds, so you wasted a little bit of time to travel basically the same distance that you would travel if you're not trying to pull the trees. And it's just little fun interactions that got almost zero use in the whole game. But on top of this map, there is actually one more map, and on one of these islands there is a puzzle that requires this skill to solve the puzzle. So if you never learned nature's snare that can be used to pull trees and jump higher in some situations, well, you can't solve the puzzle. Yeah, and I never saw anything that can be remotely useful for nature snare besides this puzzle. So all these abilities that you can learn, that you can use while on the surface is fun. Actually, after 50 hours it becomes confusing, because when most of the abilities is used only once per game, well, you just don't have time to actually practice them. You know how like good games doing this stuff, you get your ability, then game kinda explains where you can use it in little tutorial area. Maybe in some level like, come on, you can catch tree, you can pull, and then you can jump, and you can fly. So you get an idea, and then it gives you ability to use it creatively. Yeah, and creativity is the bad part about this game, because everything is scripted. There's some puzzles that require you to pick up, for example, some stone and place the stone on top of other structures. And you can't just do like big swing to push it. You need to go on top of the structure, and then you can jump and instantly attack. But if you attack sideways, well, it does not work. Yeah, so there's 3 different attacks with your palm. Come on, 3 different attacks, and they execute it completely differently. There's a range palm, sometimes it's useful, but in most cases it's super slow and useless actually. And come on, can't it be just bind it into one button? So while there's loads and loads of moves and mechanics, most of them are just scripted mechanics. And that's super bad, because it just blocks creativity. You can do only the stuff that is programmed for you. Okay, that was the second big problem. But the third one is actually hurts a lot. And it's responsiveness of controls. Yeah, honestly, it's just awful. It feels so bad to control character in the game, especially in terms of jumping and double jumping. Double jump is almost impossible to execute, and I don't know, can you hear it when I just press it, but half time when I press double jump it just never records. And also you just can't jump after you execute attack. So look, I attack and I spam button and it jumps only now. That's just crazy. While standing on the field, You know, it's pretty basic situation, so there's like completely no problem with it. But when we, for example, trying to get on top of the tower, let's get over there. So here's the tower, we can use some smart tactics and get on top of it. Actually, I solved a puzzle to go inside, but my first attempt was like this. I just tried to climb on top. I got lower stamina than I have right now, and it was impossible for me to jump like that and climb. So I used this special tactics. I double jump and then I do 3 attacks like this. It uses 0 stamina and then I can climb a little bit more. So it's pretty nice and smart way to climb on top of the tower. But here's the problem. If I try double jump and it does not register, it goes into this gliding mode. And in gliding mode, instead of doing this palm attack to get higher, you're actually doing push attack. And we're getting away from the tower. Pushed away, then I lose my stamina, I drop down, and not in all cases I survive. Yeah, something like this. So responsiveness is just awful, and of course it kinda leaves a bad feeling when you try to execute something cool and the game just don't allow you to execute what you wish to execute. You want to do double jump, you're doing glide, you're falling down, you need to restart wall sequence. It's just bad, and it works for almost every situation besides combat. In combat it registers pretty nicely. But on exploration, and exploration is like 70% of the game, maybe even 80% of the game, it's just bad. Oh, look, it's kiwi birds. Yeah, there's so much stuff in here. And this bird looks like a hairy potato. It is what it is. But the last problem is actually a combination of all previous problems. So the last problem is no power fantasy. Yeah, I know, it's not RPG game, it's action sandbox game, so you need to have fun while exploring the open world. And yeah, I'm having some fun, I had some fun and I enjoyed the game overall. But come on, still, there is like loads of combat, loads of action, and I want to become powerful and more powerful. But there's just basically no power fantasy in the game. Yeah, you can't become powerful enough to, for example, defeat these guys in one single attack. Yeah, you always will need like 2, and that's your final form. That's okay, it is what it is, but again, the problem is that no matter at what point of the game you are right now, everything feels the same. You're just approaching different skins of enemies with different skins of weapons, with different skins of rocks, and that's it. And I got the same problem in Dragon's Dogma 2 game. There was loads of caves and it was really interesting to solve these mini dungeons, but every dungeon got the same problem. Every time you finish a dungeon, there is basically the same reward. There is some items that you can already buy from the trader in the town. So what's the reason for you to actually go into dungeons when 99% of the time you will get same stuff that you already can buy? While at the same time, in games, for example, like Elden Ring, no matter what dungeon you will clear, you will get some sort of new weapons that you will gladly try and maybe you will have fun with. You may find different abilities, different summons, and all the cool and fun stuff to play with, because there is always a reason to try it. But here in Crimson Desert, as I told you, there is kinda no reason to actually explore, besides just checking what developers left for us. The funniest part is that probably the best weapon in the game drops right from the start of the game. That's the main town, and we are here on the 3 Saints, and basically there's trees, and on some trees there's beehives. You can teleport here and back and you will respawn them, and you just take beehives, get some honey, but if you're lucky you will get beehive club. That is limited time use, and there's one, I guess. Yeah, we got one. But whenever you attack with this weapon, it creates damage over time effect, and this effect is really strong, especially against bosses. So you just do a few attacks and you create a bunch of flies. Yeah, and these flies, probably not flies but bees, it's beehive, they just melt bosses in seconds. Yes, it's insanely funny weapon, probably will be fixed. Maybe it's a bug and not intended, but basically they are being attacked by bees right now and they slowly disappearing from existence. Yeah, that's insanely funny. But let's get back to our problems. There's too many mechanics with 0 usage, too many weapons with no progression, and too many systems with no payoff. And it hits insanely hard when we approach this story mission. Strange Manor. Yeah, it's super weird. So basically in this mission you will see big house, and if we investigate with our lamp, there's loads of wiring goes around. And I clearly see there's loads of rooms in the manor. There's only one entrance near the statue, and statue is not interactable. When I go inside, there's only one single room available. And if we check what's inside, there's loads of pictures. And I can easily pick them up from the walls and create some mess. Also there's strange mechanism over here that will transfer us into another world. And if we check closely, there's no door right now. So yeah, we're kinda changing dimensions if we go into different states. So I decided to run this vision device and activate some memories. It should transfer me to another dimension, and probably I will see another door. And yeah, I definitely are. So I managed to go past this door, and there's a lot more devices over here, so I can transfer through dimensions and go forward, explore this mansion and find a last room. Because my task is to find transporter inside the manor. But as I told you, that's where all the problems start to kick in. Actually, you can't beat the mission by doing the smart stuff. Yeah, I'm using mechanics that games provide me with. I'm using this mechanic of changing my world of existence, going into different dimension or whatever it is. But after finding transporter, it was uninteractable. So actual solution for this quest is quite simple. You need to just pick up this poster from the wall, from the main entrance, and there will be a puzzle right behind it. To activate this puzzle, you just need to turn on two buttons at the same time. It's honestly completely disappointing. There's so many symbols on this clock or whatever it is, and all you need to do to solve it is to just press and hold. And then it's easy, just activate, deactivate devices, go into second floor, and you will find transporter that will be interactable right now. Again, it's completely disappointing because I used this mechanic smartly, but game is just too scripted to allow me to do whatever I want, kinda, or to give me nice payoff for my smart decisions. And now we need to interact with this weird device that we never saw yet. So we can interact with it, and now we can rotate through different places. And that's where again all problems start to kick in. Basically, that's a new device, and this device again got so many buttons to press for some reason. I actually rotated it a little bit and found fort, because my mission right now is to infiltrate the fort, and nothing happens. Next time when I activate this device, I realized there's extra buttons that I can press and then it will be activated. And I picked this laboratory over here, and there's a button that's called select that actually activates teleport, and then we're going into different place. That's where we can find a cube to activate the device later again, to give it more power or something like this. But to get this cube, I need to turn off electric field. So I started to investigate how I can turn off these weird mechanisms. I tried all the tools the game gave me. I tried to attack them. I tried to pull them off with my claw. I tried spirit punch attacks. I tried to go on the roof. And basically I wasted so much time in here, and game just does not tell you what you need to do actually. And solution is completely weird. You will be amazed for solution right now, because I decided to go and try different places. So I will go into Clockwork Lab or like some different location right now. But keep in mind, we are right now at the end of the game. So that's where dynamic need to kick in. We need to have some brawls, fights, gather up with our friends. And at this time we kind of solving some weird puzzles. At least they look like puzzles. In reality, the solution is just brain dead, completely brutal. All I need to do to deactivate lightning field is to actually go and find mini bosses near these devices. And at this location I realized it, because you basically land on this mini boss instantly, and that's where you get an idea what's going on. And that's another problem. Again, we're getting this mini boss, we got loads of tools, but it's the first time game ever told me to find weakness in my target. I used Binding Flash, but honestly I don't see any weakness by using this Binding Flash. I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong, you can tell me in the comments, but it is what it is. They give me mechanic and it does not work. And that's where problems start to kick in again. Basically, you see this boss, again, we're approaching end of the game, and honestly, in this game, when there is no power fantasy, I want to actually see some mechanics on bosses. Mechanics is what makes boss fights fun and rewarding, and you feel like you're doing something smart. For example, I tried to punch him and it did not work. I tried to jump, but I realized he doing triple damage when I jump on him and he crushes on me. Luckily, I got unlimited lives, and I explained how to get them in my build video. You can check it in pinned comment. But now I realized maybe I need to do some smart mechanics versus this boss. Look, he drops a bunch of like little bombs. So I went back and tried to pick up some bombs. But responsiveness of your control and speed of character and stuff like that starts to kick in, and basically the boss with his speed and basically unstoppable unlimited attacks, he attacks all the time. He don't give me even a second to pick up the bomb and try to throw this bomb at him. And instead of smart solutions for this interesting new boss type, it was completely simple. I just need to attack him until he reaches half of his health or full stun meter, and then his head is opened, and basically I just go in, do a few power attacks, then roll backwards, and that's it. So this boss is super easy if you do everything right. But don't drop your defenses yet. Yeah, don't forget about responsiveness of control. It's super annoying to try and jump on him, especially when he spams his attacks all the time, and actually it's super annoying. It's not hard, it's really annoying. Look at this. I found solution, of course. I just need to use my hook and then pull myself up with double press on jumping button, and then we need to cling. We need to press stop and hit him. That's it. No impact, he just disappeared. Turns out there's a same boss on every location. So after clearing them, we can finally release force field and then get devices to activate this like another big device. On one of the next missions, again, I destroyed big core in the center, but nothing happens. I don't know why, game probably bugged out, but next time when I use this trick to get on top and destroyed all the cores, I found where I need to go next. And that's insanely weird. So look, this is location, and we're going into another side. I found a door, and that's again where kind of mechanics and buttons kicked in. So what is the solution for this door? When I hit like this, well, I see I definitely need to be here. So how to open it? Maybe I need to push it. Well, it works, but it pushes me away at the same time. And I did it for like multiple attempts. I tried to run around of this hole. I tried to activate it, I tried to pull it, but solution again is pretty simple. I just didn't know there's a combination of buttons like this. I can actually hold with one hand on this wall and then attack with another hand. Yeah, it's crazy, I never used it yet, and that's the first time in the game where I used this combination. It's just crazy. And another crazy part is this mission where you need to destroy 3 ultimate weapons. First of all, you need to find a way how to approach them, and when you try to come up on foot, of course you will be dead in a second, so actually you need to fight them on your dragons that you just unlocked. But how you know that you actually need to fight them on dragon when your dragon got a cooldown of like 1 hour, 1 real hour, not in game hour but real hour, and I probably used dragon right before this quest, or maybe I just unlocked him before this quest, so actually I was not able to use dragon for quite some time, so I was not able to approach this stuff. And while game always show you loads of controls for what you're riding right now, when you're on dragon you see only these buttons. So I failed this mission millions of times until I realized you can actually press roll button 2 times, not 1, but 2 times, and then dragon rolls. If you press it once, nothing happens. If you press it twice, dragon rolls, and when dragon rolls, he can evade these attacks. Yeah, otherwise you will always lose this mission, and that's completely stupid. End of the game is completely washed out. There's a lot of stuff that you probably never used if you haven't done every side quest ever, and a lot of mechanics actually used just once in the game, so why do we have separate buttons for them? Some controls is not explained, there's no weapon upgrades, power upgrades, and that's completely bad. It's just bad. On top of that, actually, when you finally meet kinda last boss, if you haven't completed all the Sky Axiom quests like me, I completely ignored them, you will be forced to actually complete a series of puzzles until you reach a last island where you will be able to finally approach him, and it takes so long. So for me, effect of last battle, last boss fight completely washed out, and honestly, the last battle of the game is just completely awful. So when you finally beat the game, make sure to get back to this video and leave a comment what you feel about the last fight. To me, it was just a bad and uninteresting experience. At the same time, epilogue is just awful. Basically, you visit towns that you visited throughout the game, but for me there was like 2 towns that I never visited throughout campaign and throughout my exploration, and people over there talk to me like they know me, and it's just weird. I don't know, this game is so bad, why I continue playing? It's weird, I guess it's weird for you too. Make sure to leave your opinions in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you want to know where to get this insanely overpowered lightning spear, and actually you can't just get it, you need to craft it, and the spear can stun enemies, so you can attack with the spear and then switch with this nice and powerful cool switch animation into beehive and then attack with bees, which is insanely powerful combination against bosses, well, watch video on the screen right now.